Mother died today, or maybe yesterday, I can't be sure. Might as well be the most iconic starting line in literature. The only other one I can think of is the starting line of Essays on the Suffering of the World by Arthur Schopenhauer. Unless suffering is the direct and immediate object of life, our existence must entirely fail of its aim. Regardless, today I will be talking about The Stranger. And no, this is not Stranger Things, whose Season 5 just released. And if you're wondering, yes, it's absolutely amazing, but I digress. The Stranger is a short novel written by one of my favorite writers, Albert Camus, and is considered by many his greatest work. But I don't agree with that, though. That's a topic for another video. Part 1. Who Meursault really is. Meursault is not a villain. He's not a hero. He's more like a person who forgot the script. His mother dies and he doesn't cry. Not because he didn't love her. He just doesn't respond the way society expects. He goes on dates, smokes, sleeps, goes to work, swims in the ocean, but he never pretends to feel more than he actually feels. And that honesty makes him look cold. Later, he gets pulled into this strange conflict with a man on the beach, and on a hot, blinding day, he kills him. There's no dramatic build-up, no emotional explosion, no motive to dissect for hours. The sun hit his eyes, he felt uncomfortable, he had a gun, he pulled the trigger. That's it. It's unsettling because it feels random. But Camus did that on purpose. Meursault doesn't fit into our neat categories of good person and bad person. He's just a human being, stripped of performance. Part 2. The Trial, where the real crime happens. When Meursault is put on trial, it becomes obvious that the courtroom cares less about the murder and more about the fact that he didn't cry at his mother's funeral. He smoked a cigarette next to her coffin. He drank coffee. He went swimming the next day. These become bigger accusations than pulling the trigger. The prosecutor basically says, this man is dangerous because he feels nothing. But that's not true. Meursault does feel things, just not the things people want him to feel. He's executed not for murder, but for refusing to pretend. And this is where Camus hits you with the real point. Society doesn't punish you for being immoral. It punishes you for being different. If Meursault had cried loudly at the funeral and begged for forgiveness in court, he probably would have lived. But he couldn't do that. He wouldn't fake it. And that made him guilty. Part 3. The Absurd. What Camus wanted us to see. Camus wasn't telling a story about a murderer. He was explaining something called the absurd. The absurd is simple. We spend our whole lives searching for meaning in a universe that doesn't give us any. We want life to make sense. We want morality to be clean. We want emotions to follow a script. But life doesn't care. Bad people live long. Good people die young. Random things happen for no reason. Everything is temporary. That gap between what we want life to be and what it actually is the absurd. Most people run from it. We distract ourselves, we lie to ourselves, we perform emotions we don't feel, because the alternative is too uncomfortable. Meursault is the one person who refuses to run. He doesn't fake grief. He doesn't fake guilt. He doesn't fake belief in God. And that's why people fear him. Not because he's empty, but because he's honest in a way we aren't ready for. Part 4. The ending, where he finally understands. At the end, in his prison cell, waiting to die, Meursault has this moment of clarity. He realizes that the world doesn't care about him or about anyone. And for the first time in the whole book, he feels peace. He accepts the absurd. He accepts that life has no clear meaning, but instead of breaking him, it frees him. I opened myself to the gentle indifference of the world. It's one of the most beautiful lines in literature, because he finally stops fighting life's randomness. He stops expecting logic from chaos. He stops asking the universe to explain itself, and in that acceptance, he becomes more alive than he's ever been. The Stranger isn't a book about a man who feels nothing. It's a book about a man who refuses to lie. And that honesty makes him look strange, maybe even dangerous. But it's the same honesty we're all terrified of, because deep down, we know the world is absurd too. If you want more videos where I break down books like this, the ones that make you question your life a little, stick around. There's a lot more to talk about.